Move on from one story, crazy story, to another. Let's talk about Dawn Robinson. So the world gagged, the musical world. If you are a person of a certain age, it's like, yes, I grew up with listening to In Vogue. But apparently Dawn Robinson revealed, because she has a YouTube channel, that she's been living out of her car for the past 3 years. But she said don't cry for her Argentina, because she's living in her car on purpose. Because she says she living the life of a nomad. Now I know I made that Avita situation. Did y'all hear, sidebar, that Rachel Ziegler is about to play Ava Perón at the West End? Just putting that out there. So Dawn Robinson, a founding member of the successful group In Vogue, has been living out of her car for years. And while she initially did it out of necessity during the pandemic, she said she's devoted to it. So the Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow singer, who's 58, revealed that she's been living in her car for the last 3 years, as she shared her new life update in a YouTube video on Tuesday, saying, "You guys, for the past three," I'm gonna play the clip, but it's a bit long-winded, so I'll just read y'all what Miss Mama's had to say. So she said, "You guys have been, for the past 3 years, I've been living in my car. I said it. Oh my gosh, it's out," she said in the nearly 20-minute video, giving an audible sigh of relief. Now, Robinson shared that her decision to move into her car came when she started living with her parents in LA in 2020. The singer said that she eventually grew tired of her mother's anger and ultimately decided to leave her family's home, saying, quote, "That was wonderful until it wasn't. I love my mom, but she became very angry. A lot of her anger she was taking out on me. I was her target all the time, and I was like, I can't deal with this." After a month of sleeping in her car, she said one of her managers, who she refrained from naming in the video, pushed her to move back to LA, and offered to let her live with him. However, the situation also took a turn for the worse when she allegedly realized there was no space for her in his home. So she stayed in a hotel for 8 months as she continued to search for an apartment. But her manager, she said, continued to make excuses as to why certain apartments weren't suitable for her, saying, "Every apartment I looked at, every single time I looked at a place, I would call him and I'm like, okay, can you meet me here?" I would tell him ahead of time, of course, and then he wouldn't meet me there. So I would take video and send it to him. And he's like, "No, oh my God, the neighborhood, I hate it." First of all, girl, why are you even asking your manager what he thinks about a damn apartment? If you want an apartment, get the goddamn apartment. Why you gotta go through him? And 9 times out of 10, I would think that you would have somebody, because I know that in situations that when it comes to celebrities, you have people that will go and try to help you look at homes or whatever the case. So maybe that's why she got a manager, that the managers would be like, well, I'm going to look at a place for my client or whatever the case is, kind of peruse it, look at it, and then run it by them and be like, okay, I think this will be like something up your alley. That if you are interested in, like, okay, this is what I'm looking for when I want an apartment or a mansion, whatever you getting. And you basically just be like, this is what I'm looking for. This is like the ideas that I have in my head of the type of place that I want to live based off the energy that I give with my personality. Be it like some gothic type Spanish home, or just something that looks a little more progressive, very tech heavy, where it's like you got all this glass. It just depends on what your mood is. But I'm like, girl, why are you even asking this man everything about you and what you want, and then he's just like going against it? I've just been like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna just get what I want to get and keep it moving. Because clearly he don't have your best interest at heart. Or maybe what she trying to imply, because it was like, well, I did try to offer her a place, and she looked at it and was like, ain't no room up in here for me where I'm gonna live. So is it like low key you was into her and you want to try to hunch her or something? Is that what you trying to imply? So she was like, I'm like, dude, I'm the one who has to live here. So that's why I said, at the end of the day, if you like it, who cares what the manager has to think? Get it anyway. Move in. You ain't got to listen to him. But child, remember when she was on R&B Divas? We seen how much of a problem that she was when she was on that show. They tried to tell us in the reality show. So I've always felt like, over the years, Dawn Robinson has been overly problematic. And I truly believe, like, okay, sis, at some point I think it's you. that you put yourself in this situation. I'm not saying that all people that end up homeless get put in this situation. Sometimes people are victim of circumstance. We already see how it is in regards of when it comes to having a place to live, how y'all keep raising these damn rents to unattainable prices, the gentrification of neighborhoods. Y'all trying to make this, like, especially New York, they trying to make this, and we could thank Giuliani ass for that. That McGilla gorilla looking bastard, or that overgrown orangutan, as we should say, that he tried to make, basically turn Manhattan into Disneyland. And Bloomberg, trifling behind, continued the legacy because he's a businessman. We need to run New York like a business. Don't that sound familiar with the rest of the world? So then they also said that she started researching car life videos and discovered people who shared their experiences living in their cars online. She chose to make a leap in response to her recent troubles, though she described her new living situation as a positive space for her to explore awakening, healing, forgiving, and growing. She said, I felt free, noting that stories of other celebrities, including Marvin Gaye, who also have lived in their car. She said, I felt like I was on a camping trip. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Adding that she's not, she also said that she's not looking for fans to feel sorry for her amid her current circumstance, saying, it is not woe is me. I'm learning about who I am and learning myself as a person, as a woman. You want to know something? I'm gonna be honest. I've actually also thought about not living in a car, but I've always kind of fancied the idea because I tell y'all, once upon a time, I was living the life of a nomad. Like I was traveling all over the world and in the United States, not outside of it, but living in different things. I traveled with the circus. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. The stories I could tell y'all of how I lived my life, which is why it's like all I traveled with was like couple of bags, my laptop to do all my technical stuff, like I do these shows, and I have my TV, I got my PlayStation 5, and I'm good. Like I don't need a whole lot of stuff. But I've always fancied the idea, not necessarily living in a car, because I need space. I've always thought about living in like a mobile home and traveling and doing things that way, or even I've always had these things, and I was looking into, and friends of mine was looking into this too, and they kind of got me interested in looking at this as well. You know how like some people, I think they would talk about like buying a like an old school bus or like one of those Greyhound types or whatever, and you could just trick it out and make it into an apartment. And there are places that you could camp, like you could plug up your vehicle and camp out and live there. I think that should be more of an idea because you know something is yours, you own it. I think all you got to do is I have to look more into research on how you got to pay, like if there's tax stuff, you got to pay off on that as well. But you got to be able to have somewhere that you could park it and live that way because that's great. That would be cool. Like that's it's yours. You own it. You just got to find a place to like camp out at night, especially if you're going to be in like a city type environment. But I feel like that's a life that's made for people who live like more in outside of the city, where you got to be able to take your vehicle and plug it up and do all this other stuff. So that has been something I'm not going to hold y'all. That is something I've looked into. Now, with her saying all of this, her ex-husband is actually speaking out in regards of Dawn and says that he tried to help her not be homeless. He tried to save her from homelessness. And um yeah, so he's speaking on this. Let me get to that story. So yeah, that she's been homeless for 3 years and he's offering her olive branch and is even offering to give her a job in the hospitality industry. Now, DeAndre Allen, or Andre Dre Allen, I should say, who's 49, revealed that he once offered the former In Vogue member, a position in hospitality with Hilton Brands and followed up with the opportunity while talking to TMZ Hip Hop in an article published on Thursday. Now, earlier this week on Tuesday, Robinson uploaded a video on YouTube, as we already talked about. He claimed to the outlet that he previously loaned money to pals in the industry, with some dying due to poverty, and expressed that he wants to prevent that from happening to his ex-wife. The former For Example member said that he felt Dawn became disillusioned by the entertainment industry rather than her claims that family members and ex-manager had resulted in her current financial situation. Andre, who was married to the singer from 2003 until her divorce was finalized in 2010, said that she could work in hospitality while also balancing work in the music industry. saying the job would also offer her both free medical insurance and paid time off. And he told TMZ her personality would be a great match for sales. Which is what a lot of entertainment industry, yeah, we're good at selling products and stuff. So yeah, that would be a good thing. Like, I think a lot of people who are in entertainment, they always tend to work in the hospitality industry anyway. He also said that the music industry would never pay Dawn what she's worth, as he continued to encourage the songstress to consider the job offer. Andre is a Grammy Award-winning artist and is one of the founding members of the LA-based R&B group, for example, which was active from 1992 through 1998. However, now that he has stepped away from the music industry, he is making more money than ever. Well, yeah, because the music industry is not meant for artists to make money from. It's made for the industry to make money. The artists, you basically, how many times we had conversations about artists going bankrupt, trying to make a living, especially if you're in a damn group. But one of my friends, I remember hearing this conversation, and this is what got me interested in one of my friends, DJ Tennessee, how I've known for about 20 years anyway, and has told me a lot of stuff in regards of behind the scenes. Like, he was good friends with RuPaul, and so RuPaul started showing his ass, and I got stories about that. And that's why I always side eye. And I love Drag Race, but then it be the side of Ru that I know based on people who know him and put me on. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So a friend of mine, he actually once upon a time he worked for D-Light. Remember Grooves in the Heart and all that stuff? So he was like, he was, I think it was also in the Groove is in the Heart video. But yeah, he knew Lady Kier and all of them. So he said that Beyonce had sell 20 million records in a group, you're a lead singer, and it end up here. I was working for D-Light when En Vogue were also on WEA label, and know they were robbed blind even 30 years ago then. And said it was awful. So he knew the girls was getting broke. Was getting robbed hand over fist. We've heard the stories from En Vogue. We heard the stories from TLC. So many other people who have told about Tony Braxton, how many times they've had to go bankrupt, and there's more than that out there. I do also feel that there was a lot of infighting within the group. There was a lot of jealousy that was going on. A lot of times when you hear the stories of people going in on these girl group types and how they get, well, so-and-so said this about you, or you the one that's the best singer, right? They always get people that chirp in your ear. We heard so many people have spoken about this over the years. We've heard it from the girls of Escape, how Latasha act like her shit don't stink, but look where she at now with that attitude. And Dawn, I feel like, is in the same situation. Dawn was out here, and Dawn could, vocally, anybody saying that you can't sing, that you're not that talented, because Dawn was that girl. When I was growing up listening to her with the voice, is that attitude. It was the ego that is the problem. So I don't see like why it's a bad thing that you can't humble yourself to take this job offer. He's offering you a olive branch so you don't have to be homeless. And he's like, you know what? I was in the music business. I was on that grind. And it's great to be out here, but they don't. Look, we heard from Chapel Roan talk about they don't get medical insurance, they don't get this, they don't get that, and everybody was up clapping like a bunch of damn seals. Whereas in the movie industry, they have a union, they have all these things that they get insurance. Not in the music industry, they feel like you were an independent contractor versus an actual talent that they're banking on. You're borrowing money from these people. They got to recoup that. So like I said, you're an independent contractor. So they're going to make their money hand over fist. I'm not saying it's right the way that they be doing certain things. Excuse me. But that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. And I feel like, and look, if she's worried about they're going to do to her that they did to Elvin from The Cosby Show, at least he was man enough to humble himself to go out and take care of himself so that he wouldn't be in the street. So if people are going to clown you about that, first of all, eat a bag of dicks, because at least this person is out here knowing that, you know what? Yeah, I was in the industry. The industry, sometimes shit happens, but I got to do what I got to do to support myself. I got to do what I got to do to put food on my table, clothes on my back, and a roof over my damn head. So if people are going to mock you for that, y'all ain't shit. And if she feels like they're going to do that to her, she need to not worry about what these other people think, unless there is some stuff going on with her in the head, and she like being out here in these streets, putting herself on blast and hoping that jumping in the YouTube space, documenting her life is going to get her the clicks, the likes, the views, and some monetary compensation. Because here's the thing, sis, unless you got a whole lot of people watching a lot of your videos all the way through, you're not going to make a shit ton of money on no damn YouTube. And that's just true tea. So hopefully she works it on out. I would have said that she should go back to En Vogue. Look, Maxine and humble herself and went back recently. I saw that video a while back that Maxine went back to En Vogue. So Maxine can go back. You can go back too. But look, she was in En Vogue, left, or was probably kicked out. I don't remember the whole story behind that. Then she went in Lucy Pearl, and I was like, yeah, she done found her little situation. Lucy Pearl and lasted what, one album? And I love Lucy Pearl. She ain't last with that either. So now I'm just looking at it like, sis, maybe you the problem. So yeah, so that's all I gotta say on this. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards to the latest that's going on with Dawn from En Vogue? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.